Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones, and welcome to another episode of Project Infinity 1.0. Today, I personally have one goal: make this stupid bloody mob farm. But before doing that, it just started raining again. Anyways, before doing that, you might notice that we have a pattern grid and we have a crafter for making solar panels. I need to have more power, and I also need to have wireless technology in order to operate the mob farm, so can we have 10 solar panels? I know the answer is no, but we're missing cobblestone, iron and glass. Wait a minute, I have been sieving a lot and I have been making a ton of iron. Where did the iron go? I have 2000. I'm missing 36, not 2000. That explains a lot. Well, with the hammer dabbling, getting more sand for glass is not a big deal, and that is 4 stacks more. That should be plenty. And now, obviously, I'm going to do some sieving for iron. Actually, never mind. Yes, did you know there is something called a hollow hill? Oops. This is going to make my life a bit easier. So I ran into a bit of a problem. My drives are full. Let us try to order something. To empty the drives. Because I couldn't put the obsidian in. But yeah, now we can have 10 solar panels tier 6. That should be a ton of power. And the drives are empty again. Not by much. But that should be an extra 20,000 RF. I need more. Because remember, we are only going to generate power during the day, not during the night, so we need a big buffer. And yeah, there is something called an induction matrix from Mechanism, which is amazing. The problem is that we haven't gotten into Mechanism in order to make a thermal evaporation tower. So for the moment, we're just gonna have more solar panels. By generating a decent amount of power, I'm no longer going to do manual sieving, therefore I have made 8 auto sieves. It's called a mechanical sieve, I'm sorry. And I have no idea why I thought I'm going to need 2 advanced upgrades. I need 7 more. It doesn't really matter, but the sieves are going to work automatically, we're getting the resources, there's going to be a backlog because I don't have enough upgrades, but that's fine. And they consume 140 RF per tick, which is nothing. I should have done that earlier. So far I have been mining all of my obsidian from the Twilight Forest, but I just made a very small system in order to get the obsidian. So if you have lava inside the stone barrel and if you put water on top, you get obsidian, right? And we pump it into a chest, whenever we want. It's very fast. Obviously, the reason that we want obsidian is that there is one piece of bedrock down here, right? In the main island. And if we drop obsidian on redstone on top of the bedrock, something should have happened. Yes, we get flux dusts. We can also use power, but Flux network is more useful. Especially I have been checking some of the recipes, we need a ridiculous amount of power. I'm even thinking if solar panels are going to be enough. I have made myself a flux point, a flux plug, as well as the controller. The only thing that I'm always lazy to craft is the storage. We do have a crafter from RF Tools, so I just set in the patterns and let's see what we're missing. I did get more flux dust, but yeah, our problem is now obsidian. It's okay. I just have to wait for a while, I suppose. Also, it's not even that great. It gives you like 128 million capacity. Actually, maybe it's not that bad. Capacitor banks from Ender.io are just garbage. I take it back. And if that is the case, let's try to get 2 of them. While I was waiting for some obsidian, I decided to come to the Nether Fortress since we have flight and I wanted some blaze rods. But it's a very good thing because I think I have enough skull and skull fragments in order to summon the wither as well. Yeah, we have 59. And 1 skull. And I think this is a soul sand value or something, cause every mob that I see is always a wither skeleton. Almost. Just in case you're wondering, the entire reason that I wanted some blaze rods was to make the efficiency upgrade, I think that's the one, yeah, from industrial foregoing. That's the one that makes machines consume less power. But in order to make our mob farm, we need only one more thing, and that is called pink slime. The other way. So it does have power, it does have the upgrades, and it does have range add-on of 1. Which is fine. We shall also take a bucket of water. I know I said I'm not going to use the sink, I'm going to use it for buckets of water, not as an infinite water source. So pink slime goes here, liquid meat goes there, and I do have some upgrades. I think we're fine. Yeah. We're getting pink slime. Wow, that's great. And just in case we ever have to wash the grass, that should also work. Nope. Okay, that one works. This one does not. That's because the observers are back to front. It's fine. Now it should work. Perfect. I thought since the drawer is here, I don't have auto crafting, we might as well do the crafting over here. But yeah, that is the machine frame that we want. The advanced version. Just in case, I'm going to make 3. But ladies and gentlemen, with our machine frames, now we're good to go for the mob farm. Alright guys, for me it is the next day and finally we do have a functioning mob farm. And yeah, the reason that we have so many drawers is that you get a ton of garbage. And I mean a ton. I do have 2 mob crushers, both of them are upgraded to tier 2, and they cover the entire mob farm. And even though I have a mob crusher, you might notice that I also have vector plates. There's a stupid mob which covers everything with snow. And then, the cursed earth is not working, so I had to cover it. Obviously, everything goes into a drawer controller, we have some void chests, and in order to increase the spawn rates, what I'm doing is that I have a few redstone clocks. The downside of mob crushers is that, yeah, even though you can disable essence, it still doesn't give you that much loot, compared to mob grinding utilities. But so far I did not get any spawns outside the mob farm, nothing exploded. Cause it's not insta-kill, but it's decently fast. And most importantly, we're also getting coins. We need most of these items for progression, so it's a good thing I did that. But now that one of my biggest problem has been solved, let's focus on the other one. You might notice that we have refined storage, and refined storage I don't think it's the best way to go. The best way to go is applied Energistics because of its add-ons. So the way that I see that, there are 4 ways of getting inscribers. One of them is that we cheat and go into creative, No, but seriously, there are a few ways. Well, one of them is that we can actually cheat, because the shop actually sells you every single inscriber if you're on a server. I don't think they can check if we are on a server, but we don't do that. The other solutions is that we go to the hunting dimension or the lost cities. Obviously, I don't want to do that. What we're going to do is that we're going to go with mystical agriculture. Remember, mystical agriculture requires Botania, and I think that is a more useful way to go. At least it does make it so that we will have a small Botania infrastructure. So let's get some floral fertilizer. I just used white dye, nothing super fancy. We try to get as many flowers as possible. Actually, there is something from Botania called a flower pouch. We are going to use that because it will collect every single flower that you harvest. It's better than keeping 16 items in my inventory. Yeah, you see, I tell you, there are crazy mobs. Also, I just realized something funny. You can twerk, get the tall flowers, and in the recent version you don't need shears, you just pick them up. Yeah, that's nice. You get more petals. That's the thing. But to get us started with, that should be a decent number. Let's get started with Botania. So for the moment, this is going to be our Botania area. It's just a total garbage patch of dirt, nothing super fancy. As usual, we're going to start by crafting a few pure daisies. And obviously we start by making some living rock as well as some living wood. I have everything on me, don't you worry. While these guys are being converted, it will take a minute. I have made an infinite water source here. What we're going to do is that we're going to make some endo flames. At the start, that's the best way to go. Well, honestly speaking, it's the only way to go, right? But in any case, I'm going to go with 16. Oh nice, our living wood and living rock are ready, so let's pick them up. Thank you. And we just do this a few more times. Another thing is that none of these things are a quest, and that has me worried. Where is Botania? And you have to click. And it does give you the pouch. There's also the Wither Aconite, we can give it nether stars. Yeah, but we're going to do that a bit later, after we automated the nether stars. I have made a few gizmos. We are going to have 2 mana spreaders because 1 mana spreader is not enough for 16 endo flames. We're going to have a mana pool, and each mana spreader is going to receive 8 endo flames. And of course, my usual garbage setup. 2 blocks, 1 pressure plate, 1 redstone torch, 1 open crate, and 1 dropper going into the open crate. So now if we give some coal to the dropper and press the button like so, we get coal. We just have to face the mana spreaders into the mana pool and we're good to go. It's not a great amount of mana, but it's better than nothing. I'm assuming now we have a decent supply of mana, which is perfect. We can get a mana diamond, and therefore we would be able to make ourselves a runic altar. So again, we shall have a mana spreader going into the altar, which is here. So now if I want to get the Certus seed, I can. I think. Although before doing that, let's get a bunch of gizmos. I prefer the gizmos. It took me a bit of time, I had to craft the runes, but we have a bunch of gizmos. We do have the band of mana, which goes inside the mana pool, and we try to fill it in. Wait, the garbage band of mana takes half a mana pool. I thought the terror steel one takes half a mana pool. I was wrong, but yeah, we have mana. I have also made the pyroclast pendant. It means that when we burn, it will be out immediately. Obviously, we have the Sojourner Sash so that we walk faster and we have step assists. And the rest are just different rods. For example, I have the Rod of the Seas for water. We have the Rod of the Lands for free dirt. And the Rod of the Depths for cobblestone. Oh, and of course, the Rod of the Shifting Crust. The best one ever. I also have the Benevolent Goddess's Charm that will stop explosions. And I also made myself the Hand of the Ender. It's our backpack. Well, technically speaking, it's an ender chest, which is also a backpack. So now that we have the runic altar, let's try to get the inscribers. I have been checking, we're getting tons of Inferium essence from sifting sand, and we do get the prosperity shards, I think, from endstone. But the worst part of everything is that we cannot make the master infusion stone. There is an ingot called Infinity, and it's like demon steel, neutral steel from Project Ozone. You need a lot. And the first tier requires a draconic core, but that is perfectly fine. We can go with the garbage ones. So that is Prudentium. We go to Tertium and that's it. Let me try to get all the Inferium that we have. We might as well convert all of them. We do have Advanced AE, we do have Extended AE in this mod pack, so I thought maybe we should go with 4 Certus Seeds to get us started with. Well, it's not Tertium blocks. Just the essence. My bad. So there you go. That's our first one, I think. Yes. Actually, in the meantime, let's also get some Flux. I want to make some growth accelerators, that's it. So I don't think we're going to go that crazy right now. What we're going to do is that we're just going to have 4 accelerators and 1 seed. We just need a few essence, that's it. Actually, I have extra seeds, let's just plant them. I made myself an Inferium watering can and it doesn't seem to have an effect. But that doesn't really matter, we have everything that we need. That is the calculation press, engineering, silicon, and obviously logic. And I think for everything to count, I need a charger. Yes, we're getting the quests. So I'll be very honest with you, I don't think we will have a functioning setup by the end of the episode, but we are going to try. But I have set up the inscribers, we're making everything, I have even made some acceleration cards, and yeah, we have an extra inscriber in order to get Flux dust. So it's not going to be the ideal applied Energistics system, but at least it's going to have a more decent storage than the refined one. Because yeah, I do admit, types of items is a bit restricting, but one applied Energistics cell can hold way more items than refined storage. If it's the same type. And currently that's my biggest problem. So not that it really matters, but we are going to start having 1 controller at least. So there you go. And I'm not really sure, but can we have like 6 drives? For now? Maybe 8. I have already made a few 1K storage cells, we have 49 of them. But let us see how much more we can craft. That's a lot. We should be careful. Yeah, Certus. I'm not making that much, I just started sieving some sand. Actually, it's quite fast, so maybe I shouldn't worry. Let's get 1 stack more. We're out of redstone. We're so poor. Well, the problem is that I can't fit everything inside the refined storage system, otherwise maybe we're not that poor. It always scares me that there are like 50 million different types of terminals. Also, while we are here and we have auto crafting, before we switch, can I have more solar panels? That's not bad. Because you know, later on I'm just going to be lazy to craft them. Yeah, we can have 4 more, I have 2 more. That's a total of 6, not that bad. But ladies and gentlemen, that is our normal terminal. That should be our crafting terminal. Not really sure, but let's get our pattern terminal as well as the interface. There you go. At least 1 dense energy cell so that our applied Energistics system will not glitch out. And let's see if I can also make the wireless terminal. Yeah, this is why I wanted to make a 2nd dense energy cell. We just have to convert it into a crafting terminal. Perfect. We need some boosters. That needs ender pearls, which we don't have that much. I have been using a lot, that's the main problem, but you should be able to pulverize it, perfect. Oh, each one gives you 2. We're good. You know, I meant the boosters. So now if we have an import bus, we can waste the rest of the resources on storage. And I think the highest one that we can go at this very moment is just 16k. Oops, what? Oh, glass. Glass is fine. We will have a dedicated area for our drives, but for the moment we're just gonna put them over here, in the back. It has been a bit of a time later and I had to empty our refined storage manually. And I just missed some bamboo and cactuses. Yeah, there's nothing in the drives, perfect, we can just break them. We don't need the terminal, we don't need the controller, and we also don't need the power. Let's just throw them away. Use offhand to place curvy variant? What? Ew. Oh, what? Oh my goodness, I have no idea which mod does that, but it's amazing. But in any case, everything should be in our system. Yeah, one of the drives is full. Here is our crafting terminal, the pattern, and the interface. Very cool, we have access to our system. Let's also hook up our wireless terminal. For the moment we have a range of 80 blocks, which is not that bad. So I can access it. Lovely. Alright ladies and gentlemen, as you guys probably know, I'm an incredibly lazy person. And by lazy, I mean like super lazy. Oh, and by the way, I'm just banking some mana so that we can get the Elven portal. But yeah, I'm a very lazy person and just having storage is not going to be enough. We need to have a certain measure of auto-crafting, and hence, the assembly matrix. Yeah, the quantum computer is very expensive, but the assembling matrix only requires matter balls. And true, I'm not making them that fast, but we don't need that much anyways. So you might notice I have already made the frame. I have to move it back by like 3 blocks because it's crossing a chunk boundary. But if I don't mess up anything, this should go relatively fine. Let's get one more. Honestly speaking, the cables are the most expensive part. So we all know that we need 5 speed cores, which is very weird because each recipe gives you like 2, so 1 is extra. Unlike the other version of extended AE, we don't need the dissolution chamber or whatever in order to make the extended molecular assembler, so it's just a bunch of crafting. Since we have Avaricia, it doesn't really matter how many crafting tables we have in the system, we need millions. So in total, we can have 125 pattern cores, craft cores, and speed cores. Let us go with 30 craft cores, the rest we will have patterns. You know, we're not very rich and I keep making boo-boos. I keep forgetting that each recipe gives you 2. I think I wasted a ton of matter balls, can we recolor them? No, in any case, I need enough material in order to make 45 of this recipe. That should be manageable. Those are the blocks. I think we have enough matter balls. I was mainly worried about that one, the rest I don't really care. I actually don't know how many of them I made. So that's 64, that is 66, I need 24 more, right? Yeah, exactly, that is a total of 90, so we have 125 blocks in total. We just need a ton of the walls. Oops, we're out of cables. I do have a feeling that we're doing fine. It's just a feeling. No, I wanted to place these guys. And the rest of them are going to be pattern cores. And lovely, we had almost every single block. I'm missing some walls. We need 25, that's extra. As a very poor person, I should not waste resources. But there you go, that is our assembler matrix. And the only thing I have to do is to connect it to our applied Energistics system. Are you operational? Perfect. Actually, that's not the only thing I have to do, I have to also make some CPUs. So with the supplies that we can have 2 64Ks. And until we get the quantum computer, we will also get 2 16Ks. And maybe a few co-processors. Yeah, I just remembered I have space for 2 over here, we can have 2 more over there. But this is fine for now. Because guess what? Now it is time for a pattern. So I can't be 100% sure, let's take a nap, it's been a while. So I did mention that we're going to have a pattern for a pattern, but we have way more than that. And of course I'm going to add more, but something has me worried. Do we need like a second matrix? Yeah, I give you that, there's like 98 pages, which is not that much, but there's tons of items. Well, that has me worried a bit. What the hell is that? I guess we will know. However, one more thing that I wanted to check is that our mob farm is giving us a decent supply of coins. It even gives us the ascended coin. Wow, that scared me. And with every single coin that we have, can we buy flights? Definitely no, we need half a stack. How would you get more coins? Well, it is a mob drop, that's why we're getting it from our mob farm. It's just that the chances are garbage. We also get some from quests, which we just got like 18. That's not much. Okay, maybe flight is not gonna happen today. You know, unless we get lucky and get like a few ascended coins, that's gonna help a lot, but I don't think we're going to get that lucky. I have been standing here on top of the mob farm for a while, and I have an idea, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea. So there are crazy mobs which can float, which can do weird things, and this is why I have the mob crusher, right? The problem with the mob crusher is that its yield is not as good as the grinder. That one had big legs, and they were hairy. I'm scared. It's not a centipede, right? No, it's just a spider. Okay, so before I think what I want to do with the mob farm, here's what we're going to do. You know, for some reason I think blood magic and Botania are going to be very important in this mod pack. This doesn't despawn, which is good. So let's get into a teeny tiny bit more Botania because I think we have a decent supply of mana. And besides, there are a few things that I need. I just made a rune of mana and we need the agglomeration plates. I do have the runes, not the other gizmos. Let's also get a bunch of sparks. And let's see if we can make a terra steel. It's been such a long time that we have played Botania, I forgot how to make a runic altar. It's not even a runic altar. This guy. Oh, and by the way, I did mention that we don't have enough pearls. I actually forgot that we have a mob farm now. I don't have to sift for it. So yeah, we had ender pearls. But yeah, that should be our first terra steel. With 1 mana pool, it's gonna take ages. Lovely. So I know this sounds weird, but the first terra steel, I'm going to use it in order to make the infinity wand. I'm really tired of breaking these guys. But fear not, we're going to have a second one as well. And I should have probably checked the Elven portal. Oh, same garbage recipe. We're good. Since that went surprisingly well, that is our 2 Natura pylons, an extra mana pool, and we're out of living wood, but don't you worry, we just got some. So there you go. Elven gateway. So these are all going to be very temporary setups because we need to automate them later on, and there are machineries for Botania as well as blood magic. All I'm trying to say is that it doesn't really matter where we put it as long as it's somewhere close by. That is our portal, that's the gateway core, 2 mana pools, 2 pylons, and 2 sparks for later on. And we do have a decent supply of mana, 2 tablets. And just out of curiosity, you will open, right? Yeah, the portal is in the worst place. And what happened? Did I crash? I don't know what happened, but there seems to be a chunk error on the other side. It's not very important. Worst comes to worst, we reset the Twilight Forest. I haven't done much there. But first things first, we upgrade our Lexica Botania. Thank you. I guess it doesn't really matter. We convert all of that into Elementium. We shall get 1 pixie dust. And we're going to make the Starfield Creator. It makes the nighttime a bit more vibrant. Well, now that we have access to the Elven portal, I was wondering if we can also fight the Guardian of Gaia. For that we need a Nether Star, obviously. So let's try to get some Smite. I just mixed 2 of them, that is Smite 6, which is not that bad. And I have also just discovered that we have Beheading. I found it in the Fissure. So another very important thing is that we do have Deep Mob Learning. What is it called? Hostile Neural Networks, I think. Yeah, the name changes. So I was thinking maybe we also get some data models. You're out of skulls. But let's get some extra apples. And honestly speaking, I think we're fine. We can go. So the Emerald Apple is going to give us fire resistance for a very long time. And I think it would be nicer if we fight him on the Nether roof. Because I do have hover mode enabled. It's gonna be very tricky to fight him. But there you go. We attune these guys. I think we're fine. Let's hide. You know, so that I can put the data models in. So apples, sword. Hello. I think he's stuck. Oh, my magnet. I need the star. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie to you, this is relatively easy. And yeah, we have to kill him 6 times and I'm missing some skulls. Not a big deal, there's a fortress down there. But this is lovely. I'll be right back, I guess. I just noticed something weird. I had 15 skulls. Now I have 14. And I have killed 3 withers. Am I getting the skulls back? Am I like beheading the wither? Okay, let's make a note. I have 11. He's almost dead. I got 14. I thought maybe I'm duping something, but yeah, we have to kill him 2 more times. Then the data models are going to be basic. He's falling down, which is not great. So I just came back from the Nether. I have killed 6 withers. And if you take a look, our data models are all basic. Which is great. Also, I have noticed that in this mod pack, we have some basic mods like hostile neural networks, and there are so many add-ons to them. So for example, if you look at mechanism, I have absolutely no idea what these things are. So bear with me, we're going to start with the basics, then we do the upgrades later on. But that is not why I brought you in. I forgot that we have Mythic Botany in this mod pack. So if we want to make the Gaia pylon, we need this guy. And that requires Alp Steel, and Alp Steel requires a ton of mana as well as a bunch of gizmos. Which I don't have. Well, it's not difficult to get, but I don't have them. Is the problem. So I think here's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to need a ton more mana. 1 Alp Steel ingot does require 1.5 mana pools, so here are 2 more. Maybe 3. Why not? They are all going to receive a spark. Oops. Fear not, donkey. We're good. And obviously we are going to have a recessive augment and we're going to put it on our main mana pool. So we will have a bigger buffer. It will fill in the others. Oh, and by the way, the base is not really going to remain this garbage. These are all temporary because I do have to make that one work. My idea is that we go like we did in all the mods 6, maybe? You know, there are going to be 2 staircases at the side of the entrance. We're going to have a 2nd floor, some bases up here. And you know, we're just gonna surround the mob farm. But until right now, I didn't have flight, I didn't have wands, I didn't have processing power. Now I do. It's late at night, so I'm not gonna do that now. I'll do that in the morning, when I'm sleepy. In the meantime, while we are banking some mana, I think what we're going to do is that we're going to work on the mob farm. I have just set in some patterns for making the mob masher and the upgrades. There are floating things, that's the problem. Yeah, like that one. And I'm going to do the change. We are going to need 7 mob mashers. We're going to go with 70 smite upgrades. Oops, it's not a big deal, it's not connected yet. But as I was saying, 70 smite upgrades, 70 sharpness upgrades, and 58 luck because we already have 12. And let's also try to disable the mob farm by having a lantern. That one has big legs. I'm just saying. Disproportionately big. It wasn't really turning off, I had to place down torches. I'm honestly not that scared because I do have the benevolent goddess's charm, so there will not be any explosions. And we just did manage to kill the wither easily, so I guess... Ah, that's a problem. I have clocks. Yeah, but as I was saying, I did kill the wither easily, so we should be able to tank most of the damage. I know it doesn't have to be redstone blocks, but we will be fancy. We're going to have our grinders like so, and we're going to upgrade them to the max. And we're going to be very careful not to touch them. Another very important thing is that in this mod pack we do have entangled blocks. And now that we have nether stars, we can make them. It's just going to be important for my sorting system, that's it. Because we do need to have a vacuum hopper. That place is hollow. It's fine, we just cover it. And for the moment, we're just gonna entangle it here. So it will be the same filtering system without actually touching the block, which is nice. We just remove the torches, very majestically, and run away. We also turn off the mob crusher. Are they making a mess? A bit. And let's remove these. Is it like we're not extracting fast enough? Oh yeah, I have the upgrades. My bad. So a good part is that we're getting extra stuff. The bad part is that not everything is moving. Especially that guy because I think he's floating. We can have fans. I have been standing here for a while and you might notice that some of the mobs are not moving. That's because when I removed the redstone clock, they didn't update. Another problem that I have has just disappeared. Oh no, it's there. Do you see that egg? I have two of them and they don't despawn. Maybe they do. Also, I think this guy, who is really big, one of them fell down. I don't know how. Long story short, we have a lot of problems, but let's get better vector plates. That's a good start. It's just that we don't have enough deep slate and let me try to fix that. I think I have seen basalt. Hi. Well, it works with blackstone. Let's just get a bunch. I would say that is a bunch. I'll make the patterns. The worst part is going in. Yeah, but I have made better vector plates, the super fast version, and let us hope like that we would be able to kill everything faster. No clue what to do about the eggs. It does explode. Well, let's hope this time it works. I'm stuck. It should be way faster, right? Yeah, it's almost instant. The faster we kill them, it's better. For some reason. They don't have time to morph into something else. Morph? Morph. Morph? Me no speak English. Sorry, but did you know with the recent changes that we have made to our mob farm, we can get into bubbly heart canisters. The most amazing mod ever by Lord Traverse of Darkness. So here's our heart amulet. And let's get as many hearts as possible. What did we run out of? Oh, apples. Yes. Enchanted golden apples are expensive. We need 36 blocks of gold. Wait, we need 48 blocks of gold. My bad. Yeah. Perfect. And just like that, we have 16 more hearts. Also, I don't see any more eggs, which is perfect. Did you know that the worst part of my life is my garbage memory? I forgot to install beheading upgrades. Somebody fell down. Yeah, so why does he fall down? Not that I want him to stay on the platform, it's just that I don't understand the mechanic. Everybody makes terrifying noises. Whoa, please don't spawn again. Ever. Oh my goodness. I should have disabled it. I'm just saying. I thought it's an easy change. Okay, the changes have been made and we seem to be fine. The creeper eggs do seem to despawn, which is good, and we're getting heads. Alright ladies and gentlemen, it has been the next day and I have been working a teeny tiny bit across the base. Nothing super fancy, mainly I was focused on fighting the Guardian of Gaia and I have fought him twice. However, you might notice that we have a problem. It never stops raining. I think there is a mob which causes the rain. So I just put an alchemic catalyst under the mana pool and what we want is a sunflower. Like that one. We do need a crazy amount of sunflower judging by how often it rains, so let's get a few stacks. And yes, what we're going to do is that we're going to make the Teru Teru Buzu. We just need to have one dropper and there should be a rain sensor from Draconic Evolution, yes. So you guys already know how this guy works. You place it down, it's raining, he's sad, you give it a sunflower, and the rain is gone, and he's happy. And to be honest with you, I'm also happy. So we're gonna put a dropper on top, the rain sensor goes on top of the dropper, and here are your sunflowers. Also, ignore the compressed blocks, I'm not building with them. I placed on the cobblestone in order to smash it with a hammer and well, sometimes I miss a few. Yeah, you see? Somebody triggered it. Oh, you missed it. Okay, maybe I should move it up by 1 block. Once I get the second floor, I will move it to a more permanent location. But you will drop it, right? Okay, so I just wanted to mention a few points because last time that I was playing a skyblock, somebody mentioned this as well. So yeah, you can't work, but I have to keep pressing the button. This is easier. Secondly, yes, I do understand that there's toggle rain, but that's a creative option. I mean, just let me know if you're okay with me using creative options. I don't mind this one. It's nice. Just let me know, because I'm going to be super happy. Don't be shy. Anyways, the fight with the Guardian of Gaia went surprisingly well because I discovered something important. That thing over there. It's called an Advanced Enchanting Infuser and it's very useful. So originally I was just looking for something which would repair my tools. I was looking for the Repair Talisman, which is really not gonna happen anytime soon because it requires tons of mana. I saw the Powered Anvil from Cyclic and I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. And then I saw the Advanced Enchanting Infuser, which is surprisingly cheap. And it does say it does repair your items using experience. So that's my shovel. We repair it. One thing that I didn't know is that you can literally choose whatever enchantment you want and its level. Of course, I think it's compatible with Apotheosis because it does need more Eterna. But you can do whatever you want. I'm out of XP. Ah no, it does require more Eterna. But it's very convenient. I use it in order to get protection. And also sharpness 9. However, now that we have fought the Guardian of Gaia, we can do a few things. Upgrade our gizmos. Now I can run faster, right? Perfect. This is the speed that I like. Obviously, we can go to the end and get the Flugel Tiara, but I think we're not that far off from, I don't know, the actual creative flight. We do have some coins, but there is a problem with the mob farm, which I will explain. There is an ME mana cell. Well, I don't really get it. You store mana in your ME system? Well, let us also get the Rod of the Unstable Reservoir. It's good when you want to kill a lot of mobs. And we can upgrade our Rod of the Lands to the Highlands. You know, it places everything in mid-air. It's like an angel block. Very handy. But I fought the Guardian of Gaia tier 1 twice. We need to also fight the tier 2. Give me. You go there. I guess we have to switch to Wither Aconite very soon, but let's get this one. We have enough apples. Let's see how it goes. I just survived with the apples. There's also an antidote charm. I was just lazy to craft it. You see, the apple itself is keeping us safe. The Unstable Reservoir is actually useful for this part. You kill everyone. And you don't have to move. At least not by much. It has rained like 4 times. Okay. That was tier 2. Ring of Odin. I hate that garbage. If I want to fight the Guardian of Gaia a bit more often, what I need is a Wither Rose in order to make the Wither Aconite so that I can make more mana. Not that we have like tons of Nether Stars, but 1 Nether Star will be like 1 Terra Steel. The problem is that I don't have that single Wither Rose, so I'm really hoping he dropped one. Yes. No. Kill them. I'm a good guy. Actually, I do need the Nether Star. Thank you. Oh, and something funny. As a quest reward, I got an extra one. Next episode, we will get into hostile neural networks. So for the Wither Aconite, we need the Rune of Pride. We might as well try to dupe some Wither Roses. I just got the one. I have already made the Wither Aconite. We have the Gaia Mana Spreader because this guy works super fast. There is also a Mana Collector from Mythic Botany, but I was not really in the mood of making it. It does require 2 Terra Steel. And that's kind of the whole point. But do you see the burst? It's just amazing. We do have 6 Nether Stars, and I don't really need to have Nether Stars at this very moment, but can you repair this? No. You can put Unbreaking on it. Interesting. Will it work? Yeah? I mean, probably there are also ways of repairing it, but at that time we will have millions of Nether Stars. Doesn't really matter. For the moment, what I want is the Ring of Odin. That's it. You know, at least I should have an achievement for the episode. See you in a while. Okay. Second try. We have 10 extra hearts. I love hearts. You know, it started raining, then it stopped, it started again, and stopped. You're eating through my sunflowers, and sometimes we miss. Which is fine, I will fix that later on. As long as it doesn't rain constantly, I'm fine. This is our second Nether Star, by the way, and they're being very productive. Can't really complain. However, there is one thing that I want to check. There is something called a mechanical runic altar. Botania is used a lot in this mod pack and there are few machines for it, so let's give it a test. Also, do you craft it as well? Don't know the difference, but you do. Just that I don't like the colors. Let's get an extra runic altar. We are going to need a band of mana, which is literally the only rune that I don't have. So there you go. Wait, why did I need the rune of mana? I probably just clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, that's the band of aura. Oops. You should pay attention to the recipes, but it's fine. I can use this one. So that is our mechanical runic altar. How do you work? So you do need mana, which is going in. That's weird. There is a slot for living stone. So that should be everything that we need in order to make a rune of fire. Will you make it? Okay, I was just reading the book. It does explain everything, and I'm just an idiot. You don't put the brick, it's gunpowder. Oh, that's very convenient. Yeah, rune of fire. Oh my goodness, there's even a mechanical daisy. Screw the other things. Let's make that one. This is so weird and it's such a tiny thing. Look, that's our mechanical daisy. And it works faster than the actual daisy. Yeah, you see? It's converted. Well, automation has to wait for next episode because today we have other things to do. Actually, I just noticed a very weird recipe. So until right now, I was making processors with those setups, right? In 1.20, the reaction chamber from Advanced AE does not require intro crystals. Apparently, back in the day, it was not invented yet. So I just made two and look how fast it works. It's actually very fast. And ridiculous. We even need a better pipe upgrade. Yeah, that's crazy. Also, it's kind of cheaty on the calculation processor, because you're only using 4. My bad, I used the redstone blocks in order to make a pipe upgrade, that's it. So never mind these guys, they're garbage. But as I have already mentioned, there is something wrong with the mob farm and that was not it. Somebody blew up my filtering system, so now everything goes inside the trash. And yeah, I have to make the arches wider. So the reason that my filtering system blew up is that this is a claimed chunk, this one is not. Which, you know, obviously we can just claim it. But that was a very weird thing. I don't even know how it happened. I just felt the game lagging. Because with the looting upgrade, we're getting so many resources. So I have fixed the mob farm. I do have to redo the filtering system because we're getting a ton of junk. Actually, I need those. I want to be able to repair them. But next episode, what we're going to do is that we're going to get into automation. And the problem is that we're going to need more power, right? The next tier of solar panels does require dragon breath. And the next tier requires dragon eggs. And of course, the next tier, which is amazing, requires some draconium. Which I'm assuming we should be able to find in the end. And I'm assuming, judging by my inventory, you would understand where we're going next. Yes, we have an end cake. That would have been a horrible spawn point. But it's one of those things. Oops. Also, I do have a super tertium bow. It fires like 3 shots. It's very good for people who are garbage at aiming. Which is not me, obviously. Yeah, sinking all of them is gonna be a problem. Oh, and by the way, we're getting 12 data models. Just in case. I think I have them all. Perfect. I forgot to switch the withers. Now that we have some data models, let's get some ender air bottles. And we wait for her to spit. Oh, that was draconium. Because getting it from sifting is a bit difficult, although I did not have access to endstone. Now I do. We would be honored if you spit a bit. It's okay, maybe we should destroy some of the crystals. Some dragon breath. Yes. Although we will also get it from the data model. We're fine. It's dead. So I resummoned the dragon. Can we just kill it? Yeah. Well, we have power 9. This is super easy. Oh, and by the way, where's the dragon heart? Okay, I got one. It's fine. This is going to be super easy. It's just that I forgot to bring one more set of end crystals. We need to kill her 6 times. A slight miscalculation on my part. Cobalt crystal. In any case, see you in a bit. Yeah. So our data models are basic, and I thought maybe I should do some exploration. Oh my goodness. We used the bow. Oh, that wasn't that bad. He just looked big. It's from a mod called Endless Biomes. I like that block. Also, something tells me we shouldn't open this. Maybe we should. Can we like take some of them home? Whoop. Not all of them. Some of them. I like things which have a pattern. Another thing is that this biome seems to be radioactive or something because something kills you. Yeah. Oh, it's that guy. Radon. I'm just going to do some exploration. I love this place. But if I find something of interest, I'll bring you in. Oh, look. Brian the Solid. Gives you halite crystal. And if you mix and match it with water, you get Brian, the fluid. Interesting. There was not much of interest in the end, but I came to the Lost Cities. That's also a cake. You know, this one. And this is why I actually wanted beheading on the mob farm, because I needed skulls. This is where you're supposed to find the inscriber presses, and yeah, there are meteors, and of course, there are buildings. And most importantly, there was a grave. I stole it. It's even an achievement. There are also weird towers here, and it gave me mining fatigue. So maybe we have to do this properly. Hello. You're big. Dude, die. You scared me. Baby skeleton. Not interested. Okay, when you want to break it, it gives you mining fatigue. It's fine. Next time we bring TNT. Yeah, that is one of the meteors from Applied Energistics. But you get all kinds of mobs, crops, whatever you want. Oh, and by the way, just in case you're wondering, villager trades are disabled. That's oil. So in general, villagers are not going to be that useful. That's a pneumatic craft house. Oops. Anyways, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. I'm going to continue exploring because I do have a feeling that bosses from Cataclysm are going to be in this dimension. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.